So we rejoin. Is that going to sit there? No, no, that isn't. Where am I going to put that? I'm going to put that there. Ta-da! We are deep into Peugeots because can't resist fiddling. So we have been doing some auto Bianchiing. That'll be one episode, but we thought we'd have a look at the Peugeot engine because I've come up with a brilliant idea. So this fan, as you know, is pretty much completely original. It would be a bit of a shame, seeing as it's probably one of the most structurally sound original ones around, for Al to be a hooligan. The microphone's annoyingly rubbing on my chin. Let me move that. For Al to be a hooligan, take that out and put a 1.9 turbo diesel in there. But the one that's over there isn't terribly original, is diesel, and I think I've decided to turbo diesel that one, keep this one original. Because to be honest, I've got a 1500cc Hedge Peugeot and it drives really quite well, so I thought it'll all hinge on the fact of whether I can actually find the bits to repair it. Now this camshaft in here, you'll see the mess, is pretty nasty. I shall bring you in for a close-up in a minute. Don't worry about me dropping fag ash in it. But the cam lobes, they have gone. They are nutsed. So, I attempted to find a camshaft. Yes, that was a bit of an issue. There aren't any anywhere. So I continued with my attempts to find a camshaft by basically not looking for a camshaft for one of these. So I went on eBay, where it's the best place to find stuff like this, and just put in Peugeot new old stock camshaft. Presenting Peugeot new old stock camshaft. I don't know. Now, it just had a part number and they didn't know what it was or what it was for. So we did some investigations. Ta-da! Peugeot camshaft for this. Perfect. Just what a man needed. All the bits, stuff, ace, that'll work. I think that's the right camshaft. Yeah. Yes, well I know it's the right camshaft. I don't need to stand here and look at it for half an hour. So basically, I have got a brand new, see, In's genuine purple Pajama box. See, 26 quid. You heard it correct. With £26, that half fixes the head. Because obviously, we're going to have some issues with these followers being a bit worn. But, being a man of many talents, I can probably rub them down and re-harden them so they'll work. Unless I can find some followers. I need to get them off, see if I can get a set of those. Now, I have acquired a full engine gasket set, original new old stock Peugeot, £31. The front exhaust section is rubbish. I found a Unipart one of those on the internet, £16.99. Most expensive being two headlights because they wanted a fortune for those, like over £150 a piece. So I found one second-hand one misadvertised because I spent lots of time searching that was advertised as a headlight for something else but isn't as a headlight for one of these, which is the driver's side one, which is really difficult to get. And I found a brand new old stock one. Well, that one's new, but this one's also brand new old stock. For 70 quid. So I've snaffled that. Now, things I'm going to have to consider next. Possibilities on how bad the timing chain is. That could be a bit difficult, but it does work, so we could work on that. Don't really need much else. Thermostat, got a new one of those, brand new thing. The one I am struggling with is this, because this is ruined. So I have found the last one in stock at a radiator place. They want £285 for it. Seems a bit much money for a radiator that's about 2 foot, a foot and a half, rubbish square. So I'm going to keep searching, and if worst comes to worst, I'll try, I think, reconditioning. I think we are past the reconditionings because all the side plates are gone and it is pretty dead. So I may have to bite the bullet and spend the 285 quid. Hoses, found those, new old stock. So basically, I think I can fix this And then I'm going to leave this one original, make that one silly. So what we're going to try and do this evening is we have technically signed off Christmas. So we said to me and Fudge about a month ago, why don't we? Because we've had a really hard run this year and we haven't had any time off at all because we're both self-employed. Noisy compressor because the heating's running. We're both self-employed. So why don't we call it on like the 14th? 13th. If you want to go away for a month, you go and do your stuff. I'm going to pretend not to be here with the doors closed, the gates shut and the front lights off, but actually be here and get on with some of the stuff that I need to catch up on, customer and Al excitingness. So that's what we've done. Fielded the phone calls, shoof, disappeared. So we're going to take that apart, and then we've got all sorts of other exciting stuff that we need to be doing. Right, so you will see we are head off. Whether that was quite the right and correct way of doing it, I don't know, but it's worked for a minute. So alloy block. Oh, it's got, that's why it feels a bit icy. Alloy block. It's got strange nut things in it, look. Alloy block. I'll say that for the 5th time. Steel. Liners. I'm going to fish all these funny looking nuts out. That's what the head bolts are attached to. And I think this engine's going to have to come out, to be honest. Because look at that goo in there. So it's probably going to want some liner seals. And I think she's going to come to a million pieces. Because that's fairly exciting. Where on earth did they put that? That one must be, that one is there. There must be one left there. Yeah, so these steel bolt nuts and bolts to hold the head on. This is very ahead of time, Peugeot. Must be another one in there somewhere. Don't know. Can't see that. Has it fell out? Perhaps I've already got it. 2. How many have I got? 4. Oh no, we've got odd numbers. We're missing one. Where has that gone then? It's just skipped. It's not one, is it? I do not know. Yes, I do, it's there. I'm going to have to go and find that in a minute. It's like a whole strange water pump casing. There it is. I found it. It's right in the bottom there. Magnetic thing. We have returned. Going fishing. There's got to be something in there resembling a bolt nut. There it is, look. Right, so what we're going to do now is creep over there and go and take a look at this cylinder head. Because I think I'm going to have this engine into a million pieces. Because obviously it's a bit like a Mini. The gearbox is in the sump. It is basically the same as the hedge pug, and I would have thought the hedge pug will probably have looked something like this on the inside. That's why we had so much trouble with it. Right, over there. Right, so we have cleaned on these head bits. I just took them outside, steamed them off. We are a couple of days later. So we have some problems. Now, this camshaft that I bought, admittedly it wasn't expensive. Now this is what is known as a Peugeot. This is an XR5 engine, so 1500, just shy of 1500 cc's, 4-cylinder, 8-valve petrol. And this camshaft is for one of those. But this is the one that is fitted to a Peugeot 204 or a 304. So this is XR5. This is an XR5 S. So basically XR5S, slightly different head-ish. Head's different valve positioning, different rockers, different camshaft. So as you will see, we'll bring this camshaft, pretty much every main rotating bearing is scored and every lobe is done. Now there is a possibility I could get this cam reprofiled and reground by an engineering firm, so that cam is possibly fixable. The problem then will come that obviously it was running short of oil in the head. So we've got aluminium journals in here and it's been merrily chewing away at them. And they're not the shimmed to like the bearing type where you could knock them out and change the bearings. They are directly into an aluminium head. So there are engineering possibilities there where you would have to line bore it, put some bearings in it, drill the holes for the oil feeds, make a camshaft fit. And then we come to this piece just here. So this is the rockers, and this is the bit that pushes on the valves. So you can see that those two are pretty reasonable. That one's ish all right, but the top four, they have been ground round. They are boogered. There is a possibility, same again, they are all metal, so it is possible to weld on them and reprofile them, or find another head or another engine, which is what I'm on at the moment, but these aren't exactly common. So I can find a new cylinder head. I've managed that already. It's 355 quid or 355 euros plus the shipping, and that's in Greece at current. It's new old stock, but that doesn't give me this camshaft or those followers. So I'm going to try D&R James, mine we are running to Christmas, to see if they reckon there's anything they could do with fixing this. I'm just going to go down and ask, and then if not, we're going to have to try and see, because I'm pretty set on keeping this original spec, because it's not going to be original because all of this is different. So what I'm going to do now, I had even gone through my mind for 10 minutes the possibilities of killing the hedge Peugeot, which has the correct engine, but I can't do it. It would be a bit like murdering a puppy that you've looked after for ages and saved. So that idea is out the window. Do not suggest it. I know it's got the same engine and it's lovely and it works, but I'm not killing it. I'm not. So what I'm going to do now is, it's nice and quiet. Fudgy's gone for a month. He's away. He came in here yesterday, picked up a Recaro seat for a Capri and wandered off of it to go and play with it in his garage. So he's quite happy. Is get this Peugeot van mobile, because the brakes are stuck on at the moment and it doesn't roll. I want to get it on an outside ramp up in the air and get the remnants of this engine pulled out of it, because it's going to need to come completely apart. So the engine and gearbox are stacked on top of each other, so we're going to get it up in the air, pull the shafts, pull the engine and gearbox out, which are like one unit, clean it to death, and then sit here and look at it and figure out what quite we're going to do with it. And just behind you, I've got the wheel off, so we need to make one rear wheel goes round to this one this side. The brakes is a bit stuck, so I'm going to do that so I can push it out there. So the other rear wheel, she turned freely. And this one, as I shall demonstrate, no, that doesn't work. No, still doesn't work. So I'm going to have to try and extract this drum. Ooh. Which is going to be an arse. So I need to get this drum off, free the shoes up. I can order some bits once I'm in there, because we'll see how bad everything is in there, because that's probably going to need replacing on. We know these brake hoses is done. That one is leaking. It's metal. I can make that. That's fine. I'm going to need to replace the rubbers, but all of that I think is acquirable. It is engine parts that are difficult for these vans or cars at this age, because obviously none of this has been made for 20 years. So I'm going to need my glasses. I can't even see what I'm hitting. Age is rubbish. Are you going to come out of there? Of course you're not. Right, time-lapsing to save the swearing. And we're going to scooch that off there. Won't take 2 seconds. Right, so after a bit of brake bashing, back brakes aren't actually bad. The leading edge on the rear shoes is getting quite thin, so we'll buy some new ones, new old stock ones of those. That's nice and cheap. And the front calipers, the front discs don't look bad. They're a little sticky. We had to jack her up and tap on her. And obviously, because we haven't got a top engine mount in here, the engine is slightly leaning forwards and it sits the drive shaft on the subframe, but we can deal with that enough to get that out there. Now, you will see the Bearded Explorer's new wagon is finished. Apart from the fact that the engine management light is on, Cole's going to take it away and MOT it today. So we've done brake pipes and a multitude of other stuff to make it workable. So I need to get the DAS C3 machine out, plug it in. I think it's just an airflow code because I have done it before. So I'm going to do that quickly. So that is engine light free for the minute. So he can scooch that off because it stays engine light free for at least a week. Then if he needs to get an airflow meter, he can get it for a test with the light off. You know where we're coming from. Get that out my way and then push this over there. So this is a W202 C180 6-speed manual. Rare thing. The state, it's not in particularly bad nick, to be honest. Colin bought it as a bit of a non-running disaster because the man had been merrily working on it and then it wouldn't go. So we found that reason as the main earth being disconnected off the inner wing in here. And he had poked it in here out the way to paint this bit, which meant it ran sometimes because it got an earth off of there and then did all sorts of strange things and stopped. So after 5 hours worth of fannying around, we found that. But basically the trouble with these cars is obviously everything by 1996 was supposed to be EOBD2 or EOBD1 actually. But Mercedes kept this massive, I think it's 38 pin round socket thing here. So to be able to talk to one of these, you need, this is a Mercedes C3 multiplexer with, I mean you can run it on a C5, but most of the C5s don't like, so you have to go into HTT Win, which is the really early program. A C5 won't have it active normally. So we're going to have a chat with this a minute. And then just check it is, because when we first fired this up, first off, let me move the camera back a bit. Right, that's a bit better. So basically to talk to this you need quite an aging diagnostic machine or diagnostic system. So we're in DAS, the Diagnostic Access System, which is pre-X entry, which is the next program. And you need to have all this tethered, and then which is, I don't even think you can probably even see it, but go cars, tick. It now communicates with it, because when we first got it, it would turn over. No, it wouldn't turn over on the key, but the engine would turn over. The fan would run continuously because it was having a fit, because none of the computer was earthed, and obviously you couldn't talk to it. So since we've prepared that bit, it now runs. So C-Class. I need to get in there and get rid of all the codes that would have utterly upset it. Oh, I hit E-Class. Must have hit E-Class. C-Class. Yeah, no, I hit E-Class. C-Class. W202 as of 97. Yes, because there's just a late one with the Mercedes. The first of the intelligent stub keys with an EIS. An electronic ignition switch. It is a T model. Yes, because it's an estate, it's gasoline, and it's right-hand steering. My computer may be a risk. Very good. There are unused icons on your desktop. Don't care. Go away. So, engine number. Let's try the second one. C180, because she's non-supercharged. Everyone just turns around in my driveway. No connection with your multiplexer. That's a lie. So let's try that again. Definitely are all plugged in, aren't we? And it does have a tendency for being a pain in the arse, this. No, I'm not working on another vehicle. C model. Yes. We may not be tethered correctly. Are we not tethered correctly? Come on. Oh, we are initialising the communication layer. That's all right, we were the early 1.8. All right, second attempt, machine 2. Are we away? Come on. Why would you talk to me the other night? Now you won't. 081 chassis number. Yes, that one. Ooh, 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 we're doing something. We're doing something. We're flushing. Still tethered. Yes. Yes, we're away. So people always ask you, oh, can you just plug me wagon in? And you're like, yeah, but it's 45 quid. Well, it's a bit tight, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, the machine was like 5 grand, and it can take an awfully large amount of time. So, let's see if she'll run quick test. Oh, we're going to bin me out again. No, we're in. Finally. Does take quite a long time. Oh yeah, we got it. We have our fault. So that's good. We'll just stand here while it goes through the other 40 control modules on the car and see what comes up in them. So when someone tells you it's 45, 50 quid to plug the wagon in with their £5,000 diagnostic machine, they're not being tight, because it does take forever. Oh my gosh, stability programming fault. Overhead control panel fault. Pneumatic system fault. Oh. An instrument cluster fault. And I know we've got an alarm fault because the remote alarm thing's broken and makes horrible noises, so I've unplugged that. Telly aimed. And on. Right. Oh, no, almost. Yes, no, yes, yes, no, no, yes. Right. Let's bring you in here a bit so you can see this. Slightly wobbly screen, but you will see list of fault. So, blowy uppy, motor electronics, hot mass air filter, message cluster level fuel tank. Yeah, that's fine. I know he's fixed that because he's changed the fuel tank gauge. What else have we got? RPM sensor. ESP pressure sensor 2, plausibility error. That'll probably go. That's because it was unhappy. What I'm going to do is go for a complete system clear. Delete all codes. Sorry, I'm probably in the way. Yes. See what goes away. Right, I've put machine on the roof to make sure it doesn't fall into a load of stuff and get all chewied up. Back out of this. Unplug this. We are light free. I'll let it run a bit, give it a bit of a rev, see if anything comes back again. La la la. We are still lights out, that is good. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Whoa, everything is out. Right. So we'll move that round the corner out of the way and see if it behaves. Now move your next one. Ooh. Right, now we have managed to shove said move Mercedes. We now need to push Peugeot out there, and because it's just me, it'll be just me pushing a Peugeot, which is fine. I could use a forklift, I suppose, but I don't want to go breaking any top quality treasure, do we? Go on you go, you know you want to. Broom. Oh, it's lovely and light. Go on, you big heavy thing. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Right. Take runner. We are there. Blimey, that'll warm your legs up for the day. Right, so as you will be able to see, I have a Peugeot van above my head. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of this underside. Due to this thing leaking so much oil out of a knackered engine at the front, it spewed it. I mean, this floor is oily everywhere under here, which basically did a really good job of totally and utterly undersealing the thing while it was travelling along. So, if you know anything about Peugeot 305s, they do like to disintegrate. I mean, they lived longer than their time anyway, but I'm going to grab the camera and we'll just show you around under here to show you how good this vehicle is. Front subframe, minty. Oily, but minty. You can see the extent of the engine oil leak that was. So all of this is lovely. Now look, the front floors and the brake lines and all that up here are like new. Look down that sill line. Look. Chassis legs, she's lovely, lovely here. No gout, no rot, beautiful all the way down through. Rear floor, right, when the forklift driver picked it up, lovely. You can see the forklift marks. Look, and the poor old exhaust silencer, she got a bit squishy, so we'll have to pop that back out again. But all of this in the rear sill flitches, beautiful. Axle mounts, axle has been preserved. Rear spring mounts. Rear floor, I mean the rear silencer looks like new even though he's 20 years old, but look at that rear cross member. Look at that rear floor in the flitches, like new. Both sides, no gout in it at all. Look at that, see? Edge of the sills, like new. Little tiny bits of pickling where it had been sat in a damp garage coming on, but there is no rust in it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to need to get the drive shafts out. So drain the oil because the sump and the gearbox and the diff are all one and the same. So we're going to get whatever's in here out. I mean, you can see the monkeezness. Pull this drive shaft, that drive shaft, and then once I've got those out, I can then pull the engine out of the top and we can leave her rolling. I'll just tie this out up here out the way so it doesn't drag on the floor. Perfect. But even the front valance, look at that front valance. It might not make you excited, but it does me. Look, no rusty Peugeot. So to get this engine out, I'm going to have to pull the front drive shafts basically to lift it clean out the top. We're definitely going to want some brake discs because they got their money's worth out of them. They are like litmus paper, but they have put a brand new set of pads in on some ruined discs. Good plan there. So that's one of them off. I'll keep stacking bits off. I'm going to go around the other side. We'll probably do most of this on the time lapses. She's moving. And then I've got to pull the legs out, pulls the drive shafts out once I've supported the engine, drained the oil, done all that. So time-lapsey, 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 and then we'll come back for the final finale of an engine coming out the top of it. Ta-da! One dead, unplumbed Peugeot engine. No damage. We're all nice and clean. Well, we're all nice and empty in there. So what I'm going to do now, steam the living death out of this internally and externally. Shriek. Squirt some squirty oil in it, let it dry out. I'm going to make a hideous mess. Do the same with this under the bonnet. Get it all washed off a moment, and then I'll show you me magical Hilux. I've got that sorted. I might have got another one as well, but you won't see that yet. That's in more treasure collections, and I've got some other exciting stuff, but we're running a bit later on than doing it all in one hit because I can't do everything at once, and I've got to go to Scotland on Monday, come back Tuesday to go and deliver the T1. So we've got some roaring around to do this week, but anyway, steam cleaning. Right, so my next task is this, because as you can see this is a bit gooey in here, so we're going to make this look cleaner. I think is probably the only way of putting it, by absolutely steaming the death out of it. There you go, one removed XR5S. As you'll see, it's quite a strange setup on one of these Peugeots. That's the diff, two shafts, gearbox is in the sump, clutch is on the end, driving off the end of the crank here, with a pulley on the other side of it, driving the auxiliaries like the water pump and the stuff, and then the... So I have steamed this inside and out, so in a minute I'm going to whip it up in the air, whip the sump off and just let it drain out all the goo and gack that's in it, oil it down, but you don't need to see that. But what you do need to see is the other exciting things that I have managed when I go and drive it in here in a minute. I appear to have cylinders full of water. It's hardly unexpected really, seeing as I steam clean the death out of the inside the block. But I mean, there is so much goo stuck in the water galleries. It's the only way. And I am going to have to basically clean it up and make sure it doesn't go horribly rusty now. But anyway, let me go and get the last bit of the day. So there you go. One British registered, finally. They were a pain about that. Rolling Thunder. So she's L643 DUE. It's going to have to be called Dewey, isn't it? So basically, the Hilux is British road legal. They made me buy a load of very expensive years worth of tax, wouldn't let me have 6 months, and faffed around that I wanted registered to a business, made my life very difficult. But apart from that, perfect. So Hilux is now everyday transport, hence why we are slimming down, and you can win the Kangoolie. So the Kangoolie, there's a link in the description to the raffle. If you go to raffle, put in 60 diesels Kangoolie, it'll come up. This man can't keep them all. And it looks much cleaner and nicer under that bonnet than it did 10 minutes ago. Thank you very much, Al. 60 diesels.